Hello, and welcome to Mo Wiff's Fast Pitch, your fast-paced program for all things Mo Wiff. Before we get started this week, make sure you hit that subscribe button, like the video, and hit the notification bell so you stay up to date for all things Mo Wiff. Here we are looking at week number 2. Now, I know you've heard me say that before, but the original week number 2 last week was unfortunately rained out, so now we have a redo at week number 2. But at Mo Wiff, when you rain out, those games get pushed to the end of the season, so we have new matchups for our new week 2. So looking at our first matchup, we have the Kings versus the Mojo. Now, a lot of this information hasn't really changed from the last preview, but it is a different matchup. So the first part of this matchup I want to look at is the potential starting pitching matchup. So what we saw in week 1 was Sam Skibby go for their opening night and Josh Wheeler for the opening night of the Kings. Now, stats lines aren't dramatically different here, as you can see how these two match up for week 1. I think ultimately, if these two were to match up, it's going to be a great game, and it'll just be a matter of which team possibly could score first. As long as the teams can avoid the walk, I think that this will be a low-scoring, good pitching game. Like we mentioned last time, the game number 2 is what's going to always be interesting until things get a little farther in the season and questions are answered. Kings game 2 starter is looking like Justin Hall or Nick Bone. I would assume since we haven't seen Justin Hall yet, he will be that number 2 starter. Justin Hall was comeback player of the year last season and offers an opportunity for another low scoring game for the Mojo. For the Mojo, this is where game 2 gets a little more interesting because they've got a plethora of arms, but we're not sure which ones will be there. Like we mentioned before, Connor Jaso, one of the elite talents in the country, but he has to show up as he only played 3 games last season at Mo Wiff. Jackson Crosley, a big part of their championship win last year, but once again, attendance can be an issue. If either one of these guys show up, look for game 2 to be a pitching duel. If not, the ball could fall to someone else like Brett Spencer, who had a great season 1 at Mo Wiff, but probably hasn't thrown very many innings since then across all wiffle ball, or Quentin Meyer, who is by no means a seasoned vet on the hill. If that were to happen, things could look a little bit in the Kings' favor, but we won't really know until we see the Mojos line up for week 2. Our second matchup of the night is the Mambas versus the Bombers, and the matchup we're looking at here is brother versus brother, Cole Layton versus Cam Smith. This is always an exciting matchup when these two match up on the field. Cole Layton probably takes the best at-bats in the league against just about every pitcher, but even more so his brother Cam Smith. He has said many times he has faced Cam more than anyone, so he's got a good idea what's coming. It's always interesting to see if Cole can capitalize on that opportunity, or does this turn into another Cam Smith great outing? Both these guys are prolific hitters throughout the entirety of their Mo Wiff career. So we're going to take a look at the Bombers first. So the Bombers, another one of these teams that game 2 is a big question mark for their pitching rotation. Last year, Johnny Gunn, Tommy Dwyer, and Sam Gildahouse all kind of split those duties. Sam Gildahouse has retired from Mo Wiff, so that only leaves Tommy Dwyer and Johnny Gunn as potential arms. It sounds like Johnny Gunn is potentially the first one to get the nod, but Tommy Dwyer could see innings in this game as well. Both Tommy Dwyer and Johnny Gunn will have to focus on staying in the strike zone if they want to win this game. On the other side of the ball, it is the Mambas. The Mambas seem like they are the better hitting team in this matchup, but game 2 will be their question mark as well. James Dutton went game 1 and pitched very, very well, but he did have a bit of a walk issue, and as we saw in week 1, the Bombers are more than happy to wait out a pitcher and score their runs via the walk. If James Dutton struggles to find the plate at all, that could be the opportunity for the Bombers to win this one. But if it's the matchup we expect, it could be very low scoring between James and Cam. And game 2 is going to be a question of which pitcher has stepped up as their number 2 starter. As we mentioned in the last preview with the Mambas, there's a couple players on their roster that people are interested in as potential pitchers, being Chandler Melton or Caden Rice. Caden Rice is a little bit more of a proven tournament pitcher, but Chandler Melton has been putting in the work, both of which not super familiar with the fast pitch cut/scuffball, but it'll be interesting to see how their tournament experience can translate here at Mo WIFF. I think they do have a pitching advantage in game 2, but neither one of these guys have any innings in Mo WIFF, so we could see a higher scoring game 2 for sure. Thank you everyone for tuning in to week 2 of Fast Pitch. Once again, make sure you like and subscribe. All these games will be live on our Twitch channel on Thursday night. So make sure you tune in at 6 p.m. Central Standard, as we'll be streaming from 6 to about 10 or so p.m., getting all these games in, and then they will release as normally scheduled on YouTube Friday to Sunday. So make sure you have those notification bells turned on so you know when those games go live, and I will catch you guys in the next one.